Welcome back. Today on It's the Economy, we focus on agriculture. The budget didn't actually increase the total allocation to the Agriculture Ministry. It actually fell by about 2.5%. But the government announced a bunch of technical missions like Mission for Pulses, Aatmanirbharta in pulses actually, a mission for cotton, mission for high-yielding variety seeds, and even for fruit and vegetables. Separately, now another issue, the Reserve Bank cut rates, betting that food inflation is headed lower in the months ahead. And a third separate issue, the United States is forcing India to reduce its tariffs, and that brings the question on whether India will have to bring down tariffs on even products like milk, fruit, vegetable, and thus endanger rural India or several sections of rural India. For all these variety of questions, I have with me India's foremost agriculture expert, Professor Ramesh Chand, member of the NITI Aayog. Dr. Chand, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I know I've stuffed in too many questions, but let me start first with this tariff issue. It is only now that I did any research on what are the tariffs we impose on US vegetables, on US frozen seafood, meat, milk and milk products, 30 to 40%. Do you think we are in danger of having to bring all this down to 10%? And will that mean we are going to endanger a lot of Indian semi-rural industries?
I will not say we are in danger. We have enough capacity in agriculture to make it more competitive and to compete with imports which are qualitatively different, which have some advantage in terms of price. Just to give you one example, I was in USA in the month end December, and I found Amul milk selling at a premium price in US store. So if our Amul milk can compete with the milk that is produced in USA, that indicates something that why we should be afraid of low price milk coming through import into the country. There are several examples like this, where whenever we were exposed to competition, Indian agriculture stood up to the challenge. And in the short run, there were some problems, but after some time, we became more competitive. Another example is when under WTO, we were required to open up our market. Initially, there was some setback, but after that, you just find our share in global trade, global export for most of the commodities and for total food has increased. So Indian agriculture has enough capacity to improve efficiency, both in production, in logistics, in marketing, to stand up to this 5 or 10% reduction in tariff.
Okay, so especially milk and milk products, which is a very large industry. I think we are either the largest or the second largest producer in the world. And in fruit, you would not worry that our farmers will be hurt.
You see, there are contradictory indicator in case of milk. If you look at OECD report, it just says that Indian farmer is net taxed as far as milk and dairy products are concerned. If that is the case,
Really?
it speaks that our prices are lower than what our international price, and we should not be unnecessarily be afraid of this competition to dairy kind of thing. Okay. If you compare quality by quality, then you just find that we are competitive. Sometimes we start comparing products which are qualitatively different, and problem comes there. If you compare product of same quality, you just find that we are competitive. And I gave you example of Amul, that yes. Amul selling in US market, not in small quantity. Just find it selling in large volume in Costco in US stores.
Okay. So, no, that's very encouraging, sir. Coming from you, I mean, I would take it, very optimistically. Let me come to the next question. The Reserve Bank is betting. The rate cut has come primarily, it is not a core inflation problem at all. That has been under 4%. It has been largely food, which has been the inflation rising between 8 and 11% over the last 18 months. December was the first month when we saw it recede. Are you confident that 2025 we will be in mid single digits or low single digits on food inflation?
I recall that on your channel in the month of December, I just said that by March, the food inflation will come down significantly, but it has happened much before that. In fact, my own take on food inflation in the month of January is that it will be below 5%. So I think those months of high food inflation are now over. For a couple of months after next year situation, what kind of situation emerges cannot be said with confidence right now. But as far as next 3 months are concerned, you will find the number for month of January. You will see that inflation has already come to the comfortable zone. Not only single digit, I will say it will be half of the lowest double digit.
Oh, that is excellent, sir. You feel confident about up until March. You are saying that for the latter part...
Up to April, up to this...
yeah, I get it. After that, you are worrying. You would say that it will depend on the monsoon. Is that why you're not committing?
I'm not worried. I can't say anything with certainty as of now. Some more variable need to be considered. International situation, what kind of forecast for monsoon comes, those kind of things. But indicators are available to say something with confidence up to month of April.
Okay, that's extremely helpful. Two of the most burning issues, you have given us some peace of mind: tariffs and interest rates. Now let me come to the budget. So the budget announced very correct technical missions. There was for pulses, for cotton, for high-yielding variety seeds, and there was also a program announced for fruit and vegetable. But I didn't see any amount being announced. If you looked at the Agriculture Ministry, and the allocation is coming up on the screen, for agriculture research, the increase in the funding was only by 3% to 10,466 crores. For the entire ministry, the total allocation has gone down from 1.41 lakh crore to 1.37 lakh crore. So, where does this confidence of running these various missions come?
See, in allocation of budget, many times you put figure based on what is RE for the previous years. But those kind of expenditure, two type of expenditure. One is which are committed, that even if figure go very high, you are going to increase it. So I just looked at the individual figures. One reduction happened in case of insurance. So if the expectation is that we are going to have normal kind of Rabi season, there will not be requirement for paying much as a insurance. So it makes sense to lower the allocation for those kind of items. But those kind of items are open-ended. If the situation requires that it requires, say, 15,000 crore or 20,000 crore, government has to pay it. The flexibility is there only in terms of, say, making rural roads, that after your budget is exhausted, you don't do it. But if you are committed to say that we will give subsidy on urea, and a bag of urea will be sold for 270 rupees, even if the amount increases significantly, government is bound to achieve that. So I think we should not read too much from these budgetary figures.
Allocation.
Regarding your question that these
vegetables in particular.
You see, by this focus on first this, let me say, fruit and vegetable, if you look at the past 10 years, you find that the growth of fruit and vegetable is almost 3 times the growth rate of output of field crops. Field crop means cereal, oilseed, pulses,
Yes,
cotton,
yes.
etc. But we found that horticulture is done just on about 7% area, and large number of farmers do not do horticulture. So we suggested to government, and I'm happy it has been accepted, that we need to slightly change the focus of our mission integrated development of horticulture rather than spending on horticulture on the existing household. We should bring more and more farmer under the fold of horticulture. So we should take horticulture to more farmer and extension in terms of supply of quality plants which are free from disease, etc., good quality kind of things. So that is the reason to put emphasis on horticulture, that number one, horticulture growth is 3 times the growth rate of other crops. And it is driving the overall growth rate of horticulture. And secondly, some of the field crop, the growth is low. We want those farmers also to put some area under horticulture. So if they diversify little bit, even if they put, say, 10% of their area under horticulture, the income can increase by 50 to 60%. That is the kind of power of horticulture, that productivity of fruit and vegetable for India as a whole is about 6 times the productivity of field crops. So this is the reason that emphasis has been given. And another reason is that this latest survey on consumer expenditure, which is now available, you find that direct intake of cereal is either not increasing or it is falling. But if you look at fruit and vegetable, among all expenditure class, even bottom 10%, you find that intake of fruit is increasing. So because of these reasons, that scope from prospect from supply side and demand shifting significantly in favor of horticulture crop, the emphasis has been laid on fruit and vegetable.
Okay. So unfortunately out of time, but I'll take a rain check from you for a more detailed discussion on the budgetary proposals. We did not understand it with this depth and color at all. It requires a much more detailed explanation. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we're all worried about why the rupee has strengthened from 88 to $1. Today, right now, it is 86.6 or thereabouts. So it's been a sharp increase. There are other pressures on us, but we will come back to you for a detailed discussion. Thank you very much for your time. We have to wrap up on Bazaar. On that note, Chartbusters coming up.